This is Tom Vizzini, and I'd like to talk to you for a moment today about why you would want to learn how to anchor. Now, you gotta figure, with every interaction you get into, your whole goal is to take somebody from point A and move them to point B. Now, the important part of this is it doesn't matter what interaction that you're getting into. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's a business, a social, a sales situation, any type of interaction is going to involve persuasion of some sort. Even if you're going to the customer service counter of your local store trying to get something done, or even return an item. You know, it just wasn't good enough or something like that. Now, what you're up against is this. While you want to move from point A to point B, what most people have in the between of point A and point B is a giant wall. They have their giant wall that they stick in here that's going to keep you from getting them to point A, or from point A to point B. Now, what's interesting about this is that most of the time people don't even realize that they've got this wall. So imagine this. What you've got is you trying to talk to somebody else. And no matter what situation you're in, they have their automated block, okay? It's the automated thing that comes up that makes them slow down so that they don't believe that they're in trouble, or they've got to see who you are, they've got to understand what's going on. Now, the interesting part about this is this block is constructed of emotions. So think about it. Normally, what is there that's in the way of you getting what you want? Now, a lot of times, it is the past, okay? People have screwed them over. People have made it to where they can't be trusted. People have tried to take advantage of them. You know, bad things have happened in interactions, and that adds into this emotional block, all right? It could be fear, okay? Fear of making the wrong decision. Fear of losing control, or even sometimes physical fear. That will stop them from trusting you, okay? So that adds into this emotional block. So you put, past situations, fear, what else could be in there? Distrust. Naturally, people like to believe that they trust each other, but they don't. There's a lot of distrust in the world. So whether you're meeting somebody socially, okay, to first date, okay, there's a natural level of distrust. There's times in the past where bad things have happened. There's a sense of fear because they don't know who you are. If you're trying to sell somebody something, okay, I've got this great new gadget and it does X, Y, and Z, and boom, there's the distrust of other things they've bought that haven't worked out, or the fear of being taken advantage of, or past situations where somebody said that this was a really good thing and it ended up being just a piece of trash. All right, so your job as someone who's out in the world on a daily basis, I mean, even the person at the return desk, the service desk at the normal grocery store, or the local store, when you want to return something, they naturally distrust you. Because every day they get hit by people who buy things, use them, and just bring them back. Okay, and they never intended to keep them. So these are the things that you're trying to overcome whenever you're talking to somebody. And what you have to do is neutralize those things. Now, interesting enough, if you think about this, okay, let's take everything else out of the equation. All right, what is the normal way that people have been taught to deal with this wall? All right, so you have you, okay, that's you, trying to talk to this person over here. All right, now, there are four main ways that most people are taught to try to overcome this. One is to try to overpower it by using force. Okay, now you can be forceful, but it's not going to be a really good experience where you have somebody who really wants to help you out. You're going to be forcing them to help you out. And, hey, sometimes that's necessary, but it's never my first choice. You could use fear. Okay, you can threaten them. It seems to be the favorite management method, by the way, of someone is like, if you don't do what I tell you to do, I'm going to fire you. Okay, or if you don't get product A, your family is going to be in danger, your life's going to be in danger, you're going to lose your job. If you don't vote for me, all these terrible things are going to happen. You can use fear, and it, sometimes it's effective, but it never really feels good, and you almost always get some regret. Logic. Okay, I'm going to convince you using logic of why the decision I want you to make is the best decision you can make. You're trying to, use reason to overcome emotion. Now, I don't know how many times you've tried to actually reason with somebody who is very emotional, but 9 times out of 10, it does not work. Every once in a while, you'll be able to use enough reason to overwhelm their objection. But for the most part, it's not going to happen. So what is your goal? How can you do this? Why is anchoring? How does anchoring fit into this one little skill? And, basically, let me straighten it out for you. Okay? From your point of view, you have this giant wall that you're trying to get through. Okay? And somewhere on the other side is this other person that you're trying to make sense to. Okay? Now, this giant emotional wall is in the way. Your job is to turn yourself from someone who's they can't trust, or somebody they're afraid of, or somebody who's just like somebody in the past, into somebody that they can trust, someone they can be open with, someone that they want to be around. All right, now that starts with one first simple step. You're not going to obliterate this, but the first goal is to create a doorway. All right, you want to create that doorway to get through this wall, and you want them to open that doorway. You don't want to kick the door in. You want them to open it. Now, how do you do this? Now, how do you become their best friend, or someone that they view like their best friend, so that they'll talk to you that way? How do you become that trusted advisor? How do you become the answer to their problem? If you're somebody you're trying to either sell something to, or help somebody with, or help them with somebody, how do you become the person that they've been looking for? Now, you could try to convince them of this, but it's going to take a lot of talking, a lot of convincing, a lot of work. And you really, in short situations, where you're meeting someone in just a few moments, you don't have that kind of time. What's the answer? It's quite simple. You need an emotional butt. Okay? This is what anchors are. They are an emotional button. If I can ask you a question, just sit there for a second while you're watching this. I'll just ask you. You know somebody in your life where when they tell you something, you know you can trust them. And only you know who that person is. And only you know how that feels. All right, what have I done? In your mind now, no matter how hard you fight it, no matter what you do, you have to think about that person that you trust. You have to think about what that feeling is like. And if I'm watching you and I notice your face light up and I notice you smile a little bit and I make a little gesture like this, I'm now attaching that emotion of trust to that gesture. Now I have push button control on the emotion of trust. Why is this important? Now let me give you one word of warning. If you're going to make somebody trust you, if you are going to use a skill this powerful and get someone to trust what you're doing, or trust what you're saying, or trust what you're selling, or trust that you're the kind of person that they want to go out with, they want to do business with, or they want to buy something from, you better be that person that they can trust. Because let me tell you, if you turn into the person that they can't trust, that's going to have a much more powerful reaction, bad reaction, than if you're just some total stranger who just happens to not live up to what they say. So be careful what you ask for, because you will then have to live up to it. Now, push button control. If I can get somebody to trust me, if I say something like, I understand that you don't know who I am. It's not like I'm your best friend. I mean, with my best friend, we go out and we do things, and he knows he's someone I can count on. You know what that feels like, right? And even as I say that, you have to sit there and think of somebody who's your best friend, and what you can do and how you feel about them and how you trust them, and you know that they wouldn't take advantage of you, and all those emotions wrapped up, and boom, if I time it right, boom, I put that emotional button on that. Now, here's why you need to learn anchoring. If I'm somebody that you can trust, and if I'm somebody who's like your best friend, or even if I'm just the answer to your problem, even if I say, hey, I know you've been looking for things to take care of this, and I know that, when you find the answer, because you've had things in the past where you've found the answer, and you know how that feels. So when you find the answer to the problem, and it's sitting there right in front of you, boom, set the anchor, boom, I'm the answer to your problem, boom, you trust me, boom, I'm like your best friend. Now you have all of those emotions set on one button. What can I then do? I can say, listen, I have an idea that I want you to look at. Boom, open the door, door swings wide open. They open it. They come rushing through the door. They're whoosh, now they're on this side of the wall with you, because you're trustworthy. You're like their best friend. You're the answer to their problem. Okay? You are, if you're going for a job interview, you are the person that they've been looking for. Boom, 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 boom. All on one emotional button. What kind of power does this give you? It gives you the power to be just that much ahead of your competition, no matter what that competition is. Whether it's in sales, whether it's socially, trying to get a date, okay, with either sex, whether you're trying to manage people. I mean, think about it. If you're a manager of 5 or 6 people, they need to trust you. You need to be the answer to their problems. You need to be the person they've been looking for. And when you are, they will perform much better for you than by the other guy out there who's threatening their job, telling them they need to perform, or using force of any type. This becomes an elegant way of you getting from point A to point B by allowing them to come to you instead of you chasing them. And the logistics of anchoring is very easy. It's very mechanical. But imagine this, just for a second. Let me give you an example. If I want somebody to listen to what I'm saying, are they more likely to listen if I say, look, I'm an expert in my field. I've been doing this for 20 years. I know what your problems are, and I know how to solve them. All right, that's going to intellectually make sense to them. But unless it emotionally triggers them, they're still not going to go there. But if I say, hey, listen, I've been doing this for 20 years, and I fire off the anchors of best friend, trusted advisor, the guy you're looking for, the answer to their problem, and all those emotions come flooding up at the same time, says, listen, I have something I want you to look at. And if you take a look at it, I think that we can take care of what you need. And we can do it easily and not take much time. This is just one small skill that we're going to be teaching in London at the Total Life Transformation Seminar. And already from the people who came to the October seminar, they're getting massive results because now they're not having to use force. They don't go into situations unprepared. They're not afraid. They know that they can make a connection with another human being. And they feel better about themselves, and the other people feel better about working with them. Now, isn't that your goal? To have other people feel better about being with you, about having other people trust you, about being the answer to their problem, having them look for you when they need that specific thing done that you want them to do. So take a look. This is a short video, and if you have any questions, feel free to email me or contact me on the site. My email address is tom.vizzini, V-I-Z-Z-I-N-I, @gmail.com. And I want you to think about it. Now, right now, you probably can already think of at least one area in your life where you can use this skill to make your life easier. You could probably think maybe of two areas of your life, but only you know where you're going to use this skill, and only you know how it can be to your advantage. I'm not going to sit here and pretend I know what you need, but I can tell you whatever you need, this makes it a whole lot better than the way that you've been trying to do it. So feel free to email me if you have any questions, or follow the link that will be underneath this video and go to our website and take a look at what we're going to offer in London. May 16th, 5-day live seminar, 4-day pre-training, 4-week post-training, personal one-on-ones, everything we can give you to take this one small skill to make your life easier. And do it now. This is Tom Bazzini, and I'll be talking to you again soon.